Welcome to Ricoma Craft, people. I am so excited about today. We're going to show you how to do a trendy bow. And I have a very, very special guest for you. Our special guest today is Hope Yoder. I have known Hope for many years. I don't want to say how many years because it will tell you how old I am. And I love Hope. I love what she has done with the embroidery community. And so let me bring Hope in.
Wow, it's so good to see you. Yes. What do you?
Okay, I got his bells.
I feel like I should be afraid right now. That was such a great intro. Should I be nervous?
No, I was the one that was nervous. Take your bells. We can't put these on because it is interfering with our mics. And we're doing Christmas sweater today. So we're going to do our bells.
Come on, put some stink in it. Come on, jingle bells.
Jingle bells.
All right,
and mine lights up.
Oh, how come I got the small one?
Because somebody took my batteries out of my other one.
Okay. Well, thank you for my necklace. I'll be sure to wear that at my next holiday party. I'm really excited about this project today.
Yes.
So, you've seen all over social media the bows, the side bows, and everybody has a little different way to do it. We have a lot of different ideas for you guys on stabilizers, trimming. What are we going to do today, Janet?
We're going to show them how to make this bow, and you will not be able to see the side of the sweatshirt.
So if you've ever done a bow where you still see some of the sweatshirt after you've trimmed it, stay tuned because we're going to show you how to make it better.
Hope, how are we going to prepare for this sweatshirt?
That's a great question. A lot of people ask, should you launder the garment before you embroider it? And as a home embroiderer or a crafter, I used to always wash everything first. But moving over into where I might be selling some things, you don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm going to leave it just like it came out of the package. But you know how you have the band around there? Well, that's not going to be really flattering with a bow there. So for me personally, I love to cut off the band. Can I show you how I do that?
Yes, please.
First thing you're going to need is a really nice sharp pair of scissors, and I've already started this just to speed it up. And so I started by cutting it at a side seam, all right, and then I've already cut the band off quite a bit. And so you can cut right in the seam or right on the stitching line. I don't really want that stitching, and this is all just personal preference. So I'm just going to trim right above that stitching. There's really no right or wrong way. In fact, if you want to leave the band on, you can, but I just think it sits around the hips a little nicer if you trim off that band.
But when I trimmed mine, I went in between.
Perfect.
That's just me. And do you know a tip on these?
Oh, I like tips. Tell me a tip.
Don't throw these away.
Okay, what can I do with these?
They make good cuffs.
Oh, yeah. If you are a garment sewer, this would make good, or if you're a Richard Simmons fans, I don't know. No, okay, forget that. Let's get rid of that. All right,
okay.
That was a bad idea. So prepping this, I've got it now. So it is going to just lay nice. And the nice thing about sweatshirts is they don't really ravel. They might curl, but that adds to the charm. So our next step is stabilizer. This is one of the things in a lot of the videos that you and I have been researching, we've been chatting about. It's crazy, all the different stabilizers that people use. So we want to make this really simple for you guys, just as simple and as fun as you can, because if they're not having fun in their sewing room, they're not going to make this, right?
No.
So tell me what's the simplest or kind of stabilizer, and then can you show me how we're going to hoop that stabilizer?
Sure. It's water soluble. Easy. Sticky water soluble. And I'm going to show you why I chose this. I did several tests on this, and this was the easiest way to do it.
Before you show us that, if you're new watching this, water soluble stabilizer, abbreviated WSS,
yes,
right? That means when you're done and you launder your sweatshirt, the stabilizer is going to completely disappear, not be there, and you're not going to see it. So it comes in a regular form, but this time you said sticky. So I can't wait until you show us how to hoop it.
Yes, let me just show you how to hoop it. We're using the mini hoop because the sweatshirt is really heavy. So I'm going to do that. And I'm paper side up, you know.
So this has a release paper on it. So if you peel it, in case they don't know what you mean, because when I first started doing this, I thought they both are paper. So if you peel one corner and you have the waxy type paper, that goes face up, right?
Yes. And I'm just going to hover over it, and there it is. Now I'm going to score this paper.
Now, scoring, let's tell our viewers what scoring means.
The scoring means that we're just doing just the paper, and we're just going to go around the paper, and I like to go around the side of the hoop first.
Now, the trick for this is you only are going to do it lightly, because if you press too much or use too much pressure, you're going to go all the way through, and we're just trying to cut through or score through the top paper only.
Yes. And once you get it started, it will go easy. Because this is like a little dense design going around the bow. I mean, after we hoop it, and in between, we're going to float this tearaway underneath it, so it won't go through the stabilizer.
Right. And so the next step, Janet, I know that placement is key. And so you don't want your bow, your side bow, the bow tails to be too high up. So Janet and I were playing around. Actually, this was Janet, and she came up with a really simple idea, is to mark with a blue water-soluble marker about how many inches? Did we say?
About 3/4.
All right. So let's grab that. Now, you do want to make sure that you know which way the hoop's going to go on, because you want to mark the part of the hoop that's going to be closest to your body when you're standing in front of the machine.
And this is the part of the hoop that's going to go onto the machine this way. So I'm going to take my ruler here, and I'm going to use these screws right here so I know it's even.
Good tip.
And I'm just going to take my water-soluble pen and mark it. And now I know it's straight. See, across here is straight right here.
And that edge is going to be where we put the edge of the sweatshirt, right? The cut edge is going to go butt up right against that line, and that's going to make it super simple.
So hand me the sweatshirt, and I'll show you what I'm doing do. So we're going to do the side of the sweatshirt. And it's already folded and creased, so that's good. So we don't have to worry about that.
Now, do some sweatshirts have a side seam?
Yes.
So this one doesn't. Yes. This is a Jersey brand. So again, using the fold is a great tip, Janet.
And I like these. And as you can see, Hope, I'm putting it right there. And you did a great job trimming that. And then I'm just pressing it down. You want to make sure you're on a table, a hard surface when you're doing this pressing. Now, let's take it to the machine. Lock it in. Make sure it's good and locked. Check your knobs. We don't want it to slide. Now, I'm going to take the tearaway stabilizer.
Doctor,
that's right. And slide it underneath there, and then put my sweatshirt out here and put it underneath the table so it won't pull it down, and make sure it's all there.
Right.
Now,
well, I know one of the things that I see in a lot of videos are the contrasting bobbin thread. So we're going to be working with a really pretty fabric that's got shimmer to it and it's silver. So I think we should match the bobbin to the bow outline satin stitches so that it blends in. What do you think?
I think that's perfect. That's what I would do.
And we're ready to rock and roll.
Okay, first off, we're going to do a trace. And we're just going to touch this and trace the area. And you can see our laser. I'm just going to put a finger down so you can see.
Right.
It's right on the money back there. And I'm going to touch home.
All right. And
now to touch the thread there, Hope.
So select color.
Okay, we want this on automatic manual because it's going to be an applique.
And that is right here. So automatic manual means that it stops after each color in case you need to do a technique, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And then we're going to go touch home.
Home. And we do want to save it.
Save it.
And that means the next time that we pull up this design, it'll have the same colors.
That's correct. And then just push and hold and start.
All right, so we're also going to make sure it is locked. It was locked, but before we can do anything, we want to lock it, say yes, and we're off to the races. So the next step, now that we've done what's called the placement line, before we stitch the tack down line, we're going to lay our applique fabric. Now, what I've chosen is a really pretty sparkly cotton fabric that you find at a quilting store, but we have to prep it first. So I put a little fusible webbing of your choice on the back. So I've ironed this on to prep it. And before I lay it down, I do want to peel it so that we're not going to accidentally stitch through the release paper. Oh man, I thought it was going to be epic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay the pretty side of the fabric facing up and the webbing face down. And I want to make sure that I have extra margin on all four sides. So I'm going to do this. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start this again. And remember, we have it on automatic manual focus, so it's going to stop after this one. Are you feeling lucky today, Janet?
Go for it.
All right, let's start it. Now that we've stitched the tack down stitch, what's next, Janet?
We're going to take it off the machine, not out of the hoop, and take it to the hard surface on the table.
All right, so again, we're never going to unhoop this. That's a rookie mistake that I made and I know you made in the beginning too. So we're just going to remove the hoop so that we have better clearance, and we're going to trim in two places. First, we're going to trim all the excess fabric right as close as we can get to that stitching line without trimming the placement stitches. And then what are we going to do after that?
We're going to cut the sweatshirt.
Yeah, we're going to cut through that. All right, let's go to the table. Now you want to put this on a very flat surface where you're not pulling the sweatshirt or the stabilizer out of registration. We need it to stay just like it is. So let's go do that.
Let's go.
Okay. So a couple different things that you can use. Janet, there's so many different scissors. What are your favorite for trimming this?
You know, I might use one pair for one thing and another pair for another angle. I use them all.
All right, well, let's see which one I like the best. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to trim, and you want to make sure, obviously, that you don't trim your sweatshirt. A lot easier said than done. So one of the little things that I like to do once I get this started is I like to kind of pull this a little bit to get a little pressure so it's taut. All right, so I have this portion trimmed, Now the next thing that we're going to do is trim in between there.
Here, right here.
Yeah, all right. So let's share that with your scissors.
Okay, let me see which ones I like to use here. That's pretty good.
It's like a cat shedding hair, isn't it? Right?
And you know what, too, you can do, Hope, too, that I found out, is take a lint roller and go in here.
That's a great idea.
It's just a little tip. Take a lint roller and gets all that fuzz, because the sweatshirt is fuzzy.
Right.
I mean, you can see that I got it right up to that stitch line. Okay, now we're going to put the wool mat underneath here.
So you want a pressing surface, and these little wool mats are really handy. All right, we're going to straighten this out, and it's really important that you fuse your applique fabric before you stitch. Why? Because you want to prevent shredding and raveling of the fabric, especially a fabric like this. This is an open weave fabric that's got that glitter, so it's going to be a little more ravelly, if that's a word, than something else. So when we iron, we don't want to go back and forth. We're just going straight up and down. We're pushing, lifting, moving, and pushing. If you were to iron it, you run the risk of throwing things out of registration, and then the satin stitch may not line up. So again, it's just an up and down movement, holding it. And to check it, we want to make sure, what I normally like to do is just kind of pinch it right in here. And if it isn't moving, I can see a little bit right there, then it's pressed down. There's a tiny little bit that isn't fused, and so when I run my finger over it, it's not moving in the middle, so I know we're good to go. So now what's the next step, Janet?
Put it back on the machine, and I got another trick I'm going to show you on the machine.
You know, one of the things that I know a lot of people struggle with is they don't get the hoop snapped in all the way. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but listen for the snap. Make sure the hoop's in.
I want you to touch thread.
Select color.
Now, we've already done all the applique, so you can select auto.
Okay, so right now we're on auto manual, so it stopped each time. If I go back to, you know what, Janet? Is that going to mess up what's on my screen right here?
No.
If I touch it right in the middle of the design?
No, it will not mess it up.
Awesome. Okay.
Because your machine is locked.
Oh, got it. So I didn't have to unlock it. Good point. All right. Now,
go to home.
And I am going to save it.
Now, just remember, when you go back to do this in bow on the other side, you got to go switch back to automatic manual.
Right, because we just saved over that, and now it's on auto. Good tip. All right.
Now,
so
just push start.
And then we're just going to watch paint dry or watch the bow stitch out.
Okay, let's take this off.
This looks so good. I'm so excited to have a new sweatshirt.
Yes, it does.
All right, next step is we're going to take it out of the hoop, and then we're going to trim it. Oh, that looks so good.
Now, your tip in storing your magnet hoops is also put it on top each other so they will stay together and it doesn't get all messed up.
And the fact that it's cockeyed, it's just easier to remove when you're ready to use it again. You taught me that. Awesome tip. All right.
Okay. Where's my scissors? Did you put those in your bag?
Scissors stat. Not yet. Shh. All right, so we're going to be careful not to trim the sweatshirt, especially at this point, y'all, because this is my sweatshirt. And we're just going to remove the bulk of it. And like we said before, this is a water-soluble stabilizer. So when we're done off camera, what we're going to do is, honestly, you could just soak this in water, but I'm probably, when I get home, going to throw it in the wash, and it's going to be all good as new. No stabilizer will be there except for the tearaway that we floated underneath. And like the name, tearaway, we're going to actually tear that away before we launder it. And we don't really have to get super close to this. Janet is living on the edge, you guys, because she is a pro. But because that is water soluble, remember, it's going to wash away. So if you're feeling a little nervous about getting close, you don't really have to get that close.
No. I just want to show you how these stitches wraps around the sweatshirt. And this is why I like this.
Yeah, we took a lot of retakes on digitizing the bow for you guys just to make sure that, again, the satin stitch was wide enough and it hung over the placement line so that it would wrap around the fabric. And remember, we used that gray bobbin. So just in case when we wash this all away, it's just going to blend in and it's going to really look beautiful.
I really like that, Hope. That's going to look so good on you.
It is.
I really like that contrast.
I think I'm going to have to do some rhinestones in there and maybe
you
some little...
You got to do my
Girl,
blincy.
I got to bling it up.
You got to bling it up. That's us.
Right.
But I got my crystals upstairs. We'll bling it up. My Swarovski crystals. Okay. Thank you for coming to this episode. I was so excited over this project. I hope you like it. Remember, like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's really an honor to be here with you again. This was a really fun project. I hope our viewers liked it. And I just wanted to say thank you for having me.
Thank you, Hope, for being here with me. Now, tell our viewers how we can find this link.
All right, awesome. You guys, I have a lot of designs that you can find using the link below at hopeyoder.com. And maybe they didn't know, but I do a lot of online courses and in-person courses. So we'll link all of that below.
Great.